The best thing to do if you become tired while driving is to A. Stop to rest or change drivers. B. Drink coffee. C. Open a window. A. Stop to rest or change drivers. If you become tired while driving, it is best to stop to rest or change drivers. Being tired dulls your mind and slows down your reactions, making driving hazardous. This sign means A. Traffic signal ahead. B. Stop. C. Yield the right of way. A. Traffic signal ahead. This sign warns of an approaching traffic signal. If you see orange construction signs and cones on a freeway, you must A. Slow down because the lane ends ahead. B. Be prepared for workers and equipment ahead. C. Change lanes and maintain your current speed. B. Be prepared for workers and equipment ahead. As you enter a work zone, signs and message boards will warn you of workers, slow-moving equipment, and/or closed lanes ahead. You should reduce your speed and be prepared to slow down or stop. This sign means A. There is a 35 miles per hour speed zone after the curve ahead. B. Drive no slower than 35 miles per hour around the upcoming curve. C. Approach the upcoming curve at a speed of 35 miles per hour or slower. C. Approach the upcoming curve at a speed of 35 miles per hour or slower. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. These signs may be accompanied by speed advisory plaques that indicate the speed with which you should proceed.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
When entering the interstate, check for a gap in traffic in the nearest lane. Adjust your speed to match traffic, signal, and A. Expect traffic to allow you to proceed into the lane, since you have the right of way. B. Merge carefully into the gap. C. Wait for the lane to clear before merging. B. Merge carefully into the gap. Before merging into interstate traffic, you should identify a gap, accelerate to the speed of traffic, and signal. Merge into the gap when it is safe to do so. Be alert to other traffic and do not expect other drivers to clear the lane. The speed limit when approaching a school crossing is A. 10 miles per hour. B. 15 miles per hour. C. 25 miles per hour. B. 15 miles per hour. When no other limit is posted, the speed limit when approaching a school crosswalk is 15 miles per hour. If you encounter an aggressive driver, you should A. Challenge them. B. Get out of their way. C. Speed up. B. Get out of their way. Drivers must respect and cooperate with all other road users and conform to specific rules in order to maintain order and to avoid crashes. When encountering an aggressive driver, it is safest to just get out of their way. Always avoid competing with other drivers. When driving at night on a dimly lit street, you should A. Drive slowly enough that you can stop within the area illuminated by your headlights. B. Turn on your high beam headlights to better see the vehicles ahead of you. C. Keep the instrument panel lights bright to be more visible to other drivers. A. Drive slowly enough that you can stop within the area illuminated by your headlights. You should drive more slowly at night than during the day because it is not possible to see as far ahead at night. You should make sure that you can stop within the area illuminated by your headlights. You should not use your horn. A. When visibility ahead is limited. B. If you might hit another vehicle. C. Near blind pedestrians. C. Near blind pedestrians. When driving near a blind pedestrian, using your horn may be dangerous. Yield to the pedestrian and proceed when it is safe to do so. In a vehicle equipped with airbags, the safest place for children age 12 and under to ride is in A. The front seat. B. The back seat. C. The bed of a pickup truck. B. The back seat. While airbags provide supplemental protection for adults in the event of a crash, they pose a severe safety risk for children. Anyone age 12 or under should sit in the back seat of a vehicle with airbags. Use your headlights on rainy, snowy, or foggy days. A. To keep your engine warm. B. So others can see your vehicle. C. To warn others of bad weather conditions. B. So others can see your vehicle. On rainy, snowy, or foggy days, it may be difficult for other drivers to see your vehicle. Under these conditions, headlights make your vehicle easier to see. If the weather requires you to turn on your windshield wipers, you must also turn on your low-beam headlights. You hit a parked vehicle and can't find the owner. What must you do? A. Call your insurance company when you get home. B. Wait for the owner to return. C. Leave a note with your name and address on the parked vehicle. You have stopped for a train at a railroad crossing. After the train passes, you should A. Wait for signal lights to stop flashing. B. Look for a second train. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. Even after a train passes, watch out for a second train approaching on any track. Do not proceed until all gates have been lifted and all warning signals have stopped flashing. When driving in fog, you should A. Use your high-beam headlights. B. Use your parking lights. C. Use your low-beam headlights. C. Use your low-beam headlights. Drivers should use low-beam headlights when driving in fog. High beams will reflect back at the driver, making it difficult to see. Regulatory signs are A. Green. B. Yellow. C. White. C. White. Regulatory signs inform drivers of specific laws that must be obeyed. Displayed laws may be about traffic direction, lane use, turning, speed, parking, or special situations. Regulatory signs are commonly white squares or rectangles with black, red, or green letters or symbols. When you see an emergency vehicle approaching while using its flashing lights, you must A. Maintain your speed and stay in your lane until the vehicle has passed. B. Move into the right lane and drive slowly until the vehicle has passed. C. Pull over to the curb or edge of the road and stop until the vehicle has passed. Excessive speed. A. Saves time so you can get to your destination more quickly. B. Helps you maneuver around obstacles. C. Increases the likelihood of serious bodily injury and death. C. Increases the likelihood of serious bodily injury and death. Excessive speed is one of the most common contributing factors to vehicle crashes. Excessive speed does not save time and often leads to high-risk decision-making. Blind spots are A. Spots in your vision when you become fatigued. B. Areas of the road that cannot be seen in a vehicle's mirrors. C. Traffic control devices. B. Areas of the road that cannot be seen in a vehicle's mirrors. When changing lanes, look over your shoulder in the direction you plan to move. Check for obstructions near the rear corners of your vehicle. These areas are called blind spots because you cannot see them by using your mirrors. If you can see that the roadway up ahead is covered by heavy smoke, you should A. Turn on your four-way flashers and continue. B. Reduce your speed, move as far to the right as possible, and stop off the roadway. C. Turn on your high-beam headlights and continue. When approaching an intersection with a flashing red light, you must A. Come to a complete stop, yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians, then proceed. B. Reduce your speed and proceed with caution. C. Come to a complete stop and remain stopped as long as the light is red. A. Come to a complete stop, yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians, then proceed. A flashing red traffic light means the same thing as a stop sign. When arriving at an intersection with a flashing red light, you must come to a full stop and proceed when it is safe to do so. When preparing to make a left turn from a two-way street, you should drive A. Near the right-hand side of the road. B. Near the center line. C. On the left of the center line. B. Near the center line. When you are turning left from a two-way street, begin in the lane closest to the center line and start your turn just before the front of your car reaches the center of the intersection. Do not cut the corner. Steering hand over hand, turn into the first available legal lane. As you enter into a roundabout, you should slow down and A. Yield to any crossing pedestrians and bicyclists. B. Yield to any car already within the roundabout. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. When entering a roundabout, you must yield to pedestrians, bicyclists, and traffic already in the roundabout. At a red traffic light with a green arrow, you may proceed in the direction of the arrow if A. You first come to a complete stop. B. You wait until the light changes. C. You are in the proper lane and the roadway is clear. C. You are in the proper lane and the roadway is clear. If you are in a lane corresponding to a signal displaying a green arrow, you may proceed in the direction of the arrow when the way is clear. This is true whether the arrow is displayed alone or together with another signal. The center of the roadway is marked with one solid yellow line and one broken yellow line. If the broken yellow line is directly next to your traffic lane, it means A. You are not allowed to pass in this area. B. You are in a passing zone and it is safe for you to pass other vehicles on the left if no oncoming traffic is present. C. You are only allowed to make right turns in this area. B. You are in a passing zone and it is safe for you to pass other vehicles on the left if no oncoming traffic is present. When there is a solid yellow line and a broken yellow line in the center of the road, passing is permitted from the side of the road next to the broken line. When stopped at a red traffic light with a green arrow, you may proceed in the direction of the arrow if you A. First come to a complete stop. B. Wait until the light changes. C. Are in the proper lane and the intersection is clear. C. Are in the proper lane and the intersection is clear. You may proceed in the direction that a green arrow signal is pointing if you are in the proper lane, regardless of any other signals that are displayed. Before turning, you must yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and vehicles already within the intersection. If a motorist sees pedestrians in an upcoming crosswalk, what should the motorist do? A. Continue ahead. The motorist has the right-of-way. B. Wait for the pedestrians to cross the street. C. Pull to the right and go around the pedestrians. B. Wait for the pedestrians to cross the street. A driver must yield the right-of-way to a pedestrian within a crosswalk. The driver should wait until the intersection is clear to proceed. This sign means A. Stop sign ahead. B. Side road. C. Railroad warning. A. Stop sign ahead. This sign indicates that a stop sign is ahead. Backing your vehicle is A. Always dangerous. B. Dangerous if you have a helper. C. Only dangerous in large vehicles. Work zone barriers, drums, cones, and signs are used to A. Make drivers angry about slow traffic. B. Inconvenience drivers. C. Keep traffic out of hazardous work zones. C. Keep traffic out of hazardous work zones. Work zones on highways have become increasingly dangerous places for both workers and drivers. When approaching a work zone, watch for materials such as cones, barrels, signs, large vehicles, and workers in brightly colored vests to warn you and direct you. A driver should A. Assume all drivers automatically obey the right-of-way rules. B. Assume most drivers obey the right-of-way rules. C. Always be prepared to yield the right-of-way. C. Always be prepared to yield the right-of-way. Although the right-of-way rules provide a guide to determine who should yield the right-of-way at an intersection, no one should assume they automatically have the right-of-way. The situation and circumstances at an intersection must always be considered. Drivers should yield their legal right-of-way if it can help prevent a collision.